Hey, so sorry I was a little late on this one, guys. I was in California for work. Yeah, back. I watched the fights. This fight card was memorable for me for two of the participants, Josh Emmett and Andre Fili. Look, I was in NorCal at Scrap Pack when those guys were coming up, and they came up on that same circuit. They were both Sacramento guys, if I remember correctly. And in fact, Emmett was scheduled to fight my boy Josh Berkovich, who was a scrap packer himself. And in fact, the most promising scrap packer there was. And then he unexpectedly retired undefeated, like 9-0 or something, and never went on. I don't know how to explain that. I know that the scrap pack dynamic was weird. I wonder if that contributed to Berkovich just retiring, or sometimes guys get into other things. The way they described it to me was he became like a weed head yoga guy, didn't want to fight anymore. I can't say anything about that, but Emmett and Berkovich was supposed to be the big fight for the lightweight of the era up there. It never happened. Andre Touchy-Fili, I remember watching him at the Santa Rosa, like, I don't know, it's like a rodeo ground or campground or something. And he fought a guy from Crispin BJJ. In fact, Crispin, he fought the owner of it, right? And, at the time, Brazilians were really well thought of, and I thought that Crispin had the advantage, and Fili actually outworked him. And if you look at those two careers, and what we saw last night, I think Andre Fili won his fight with Jose Delgado personally. But when you're older, you don't get those close decisions anymore, right? I thought Andre Fili fought very technical. I thought he mixed stand-up with takedowns exceptionally well. But Jose Delgado was quicker and faster and had lightning strikes, and it was pretty awesome what he did too. So it was a very close fight. It could have gone either way. I thought Fili's takedowns in the third round said it all. But what? I'm not the judge. So yeah, I mean, good fight either way. Delgado winning is not a robbery by any means. It is what it is. It was a very close fight, and he's a young up and comer. With Vallejos and Emmett, it wasn't even close. And one thing about Emmett being different than Fili's a very technical MMA type fighter, switches stances, stuff like that. He's developed as the sport of MMA has developed. Josh Emmett is your typical wrestler guy, using his physicality to dominate people. His stand-up usually mounted to like one giant right hand and his durability. And the fact is, when you hit 40 years old, and I think Fili's only 35, you become less durable. And Vallejos is a killer, and it showed, right? He walked right through Josh Emmett. Josh offered nothing, and that's because of the type of fighter he is. That type of fighter doesn't stick around as long as the Andre Fili type of fighter. It's just a different way of approaching the game, and you're not as durable when you get older. So, yeah, especially against those kids. I mean, I talk about that myself. Like, when I got out of prison the first time, I was mid to late 30s, but I was in the shape of my life, right? I could whip off 13 miles, and that aided me against the kids in the gym training. But when I was younger, I could do 5-round fights without even really effectively training the way I needed to because I was so young. But yeah, age, man, it's a young man's sport. They used to tell me back then to try to get me to stop sparring with the kids, but I never did, and I never will. The women's fight, guys, I'm not going to talk about. I saw the highlights. It looked like Amanda did great. Then they gave it to Jillian, but I didn't watch the whole fight, so I'm not the authority. But a fun night, man, and we're going to have to live with this for a little while till we get to the next numbered card. Anyway, there it is. Like and follow for more on the fight game.